Egypt's membership in BRICS has been portrayed in the media and public debate as a political victory and a magic economic wand that would resolve the country's deepening economic crisis. However, we must be careful about attributing more importance for this admission and this membership than it actually has. Egypt's economic crisis is far more profound and severe than what could signing a trade agreement or joining an economic bloc could resolve. Excess borrowing over the last few years has increased foreign debt to unprecedented levels. The Egyptian pound has lost more than 50% of its value against the US dollar since March last year in a series of steep devaluations. Moreover, foreign direct investments have been migrating, and many investors pulled out their investments from the country in a panic. The Egyptian government pines hopes on joining BRICS for two main reasons. First, BRICS has a development bank, the New Development Bank, which provides soft loans to its members to implement infrastructure and development projects. By joining BRICS, Egypt will have access to loans from BRICS, and it is expected that these loans will be provided with more favorable conditions and expedited processes compared to the constraint imposed by the international financial institutions such as the World Bank and the IMF. Second, BRICS has a mechanism for currency swaps in trade transactions among its members. Egypt already has agreements with China and with Russia, but joining BRICS will enable Egypt to conduct trade settlements for its major imports. So by conducting these trade settlements using national currencies, Egypt will be able to reduce the pressure on the US dollar, and it will be also able to mitigate the consequences of its ongoing financial and currency crisis. However, this requires that Egypt focuses mainly on building its productive capacity and improving competitiveness in order to be able to exploit the export and investment opportunities. In addition to that, it's important to focus on integrating more in the supply chains of these countries so Egypt can fulfill some of the demands of these markets. Today, the value of Egyptian exports to BRICS countries is about $5 billion US dollars. On the other hand, Egypt imports from this bloc more than 26 billion US dollar. Without rebalancing this trade, then it's very unlikely to be able to have a sustainable economic and trade ties with BRICS.